guys, welcome to our very first PUBG Mobile video. Today we're going to be going over the weapons in PUBG and kind of just going over what I think about them, what the actual stats behind them are, and how they actually work. So we're going to go ahead and go into our armory. That's actually right up here behind my head. We're going to be heading into the armory here, and we're going to kind of take a look at some of these guns and go over them a bit. Okay, so the first section that we are in is assault rifles, and we are going to be taking a look at these now. AKM power, as you guys can see, is about a third of the way up. Recoil is a little bit less than that. The range is above average, above half. Firing speed is kind of the same, and the capacity is the same. Now, I can tell you, AKM is so it shoots in single shot and full auto mode, as you guys can see. It deals a lot of damage in single shot mode. But the recoil is pretty heavy. So if you guys read the little paragraph in the top left, that is exactly right. So what I like to use the AKM for, obviously, it's preferred to me over having a submachine gun or a pistol or anything like that, especially at medium range. But one of the great uses I have for the AKM, and one of the things as far as the automatic rifles go, the AKM, M16, SCAR, M416, and of course the AUG and the Groza. The AKM is my least favorite of all of the automatic rifles to be used as an automatic rifle. Now, the difference is with the AKM, and where it comes in handy is, personally, my preferred playstyle is to have an assault rifle and a sniper of sorts, or a long-range weapon. The AKM can fill the void of a long-range weapon if I haven't found a sniper rifle that I actually like yet. If you go single shot on the AKM and put an 8x scope on it, it's actually fairly accurate, and it does a pretty decent amount of distance as like a semi-automatic sniper rifle. If you choose to use it in that manner, I do, and it works for me when I can't find something I enjoy better. So as far as assault rifles go, it's my least favorite, but I do like it as a backup sniper rifle. Next, we're moving on to the M16. Now, as you guys can see, let's just show you real quick, back and forth. So the M16 actually has more range than the AKM does, a much slower firing speed, similar capacity, a little bit less power, and about the same recoil. But the M16 shoots 5.56 bullets as opposed to the 7.62 from the AKM. So the M16 shoots burst round shots and single mode. So as far as assault rifles go, M16 is probably my second least favorite. I would rather have, from like a short to medium range gun, I'd rather have the SCAR or the M416. But this, again, like the AKM, can fill a void as a backup sniper rifle. If you can't find something like a sniper rifle that you really enjoy, put it at 4 or 8x scope on the M16, put it in single shot, or even burst mode if they're not that far away. The burst mode can be fairly accurate as long as the distance isn't too far. If the distance gets pretty far, you're going to want to change to the single shot to get better accuracy. But again, the M16 serves as a very good alternative to a sniper rifle when you don't have one. Next, moving on to the SCAR. The SCAR is, now the Groza and the AUG, obviously, are the bottom two, are going to be guns you're going to mostly get in the box. So you're not going to find those too often outside of that, playing in classic mode. Sometimes I can find those in arcade mode, but in classic mode, those are going to be mostly in the box. So as far as, we have 4 main assault rifles in the game that we use, and they're actually rated in opposite order. So the AKM is my least favorite, M16 is, third, SCAR is my second favorite, and M416 is my favorite. So SCAR shoots 5.56 bullets, it does single and full auto. The recoil is pretty low on this gun, it's pretty accurate. Now, one of the things that makes it better than, say, the AKM, the firing speed is quite a bit faster, so it's capable of a lot more damage, but it has a lot of mod attachments. As you guys can see, let me see if I can move out of the way a little bit. It gives you a sight, a muzzle, a mag, and a foregrip. The AKM, on the other hand, only gives you a sight, a muzzle, and a mag. So it gives you 1 extra attachment. The M16 also has the 3, so this gives you 4, and the M14, or sorry, the M416 gives you 5, and that's part of the reason why it's the better gun. But the SCAR's range is okay, but I find shooting the SCAR as a backup sniper rifle and single shot to be not very good. I don't prefer it for that. I like it as my second favorite assault rifle. And then we're moving on to the M416, which shoots 5.56 bullets. The range. So let's compare real quick. The range and the firing speed of the M416 is better. The power is the same. The recoil is the same, but the extra attachment capabilities on the M416 not only make it better overall, but the M416 is just a better gun. I'm telling you, with a lot of experience with the SCAR and the M416, I'll take a fully loaded M416 over a fully loaded SCAR any day of the week. M416 is far and away my favorite close to medium range gun in the game. It's really solid. Now, there's one other one that competes with it, but it's not in the assault rifle section. Now, I want to real quick just go over the Legrasse, which is it's a assault rifle that shoots 7.62, and it drops from airdrops. It's single and full auto. Of course, it deals a ton of damage. You guys see the power. Let me compare the power between the M416, so you guys see the bars up there, to that. It's a lot harder hitting. It's got more range. I mean, obviously the guns that drop in the supply boxes are going to be much better. The Legrasse is great, but if I'm going to be getting any gun in the box, I would like it to be the AUG. The AUG just shoots so beautifully. It doesn't do as much damage. It doesn't have as much range or firing speed, but I'm telling you, the AUG just shoots perfectly. The recoil, it's just such a great gun. I love the AUG. If you can get your hands on a Legrasse or an AUG, obviously pick those bad boys up and use them. They're beautiful. But out of the two that come from the airdrops, I prefer the AUG for sure. Now we're going to be moving on to our next set of weapons, which is going to be sniper rifles. There's only 4 of these, and they're not too hard to break down. We have 2 sniper rifles that come from the airdrops, and 2 that you can get outside of that. Now, these are bolt action snipers, or I think all these are bolt action, right? Yeah, single bolt action, bolt action. Okay, these are all bolt action. So the Kar 98 is probably, I mean, really the Win 94 is a weak sauce sniper rifle. It shoots, let me go start with that one. The Win 94 shoots 0.45 ACP bullets, which is used for some of your submachine guns and some of those pistols. It's not a very high power damage. Like, look at the damage difference between the Kar. Now this one has good range. You know, it's about midway on the power and about midway on the recoil. Firing speed obviously super low. Now look at the Kar. The Kar's power is quite a bit higher. Now the firing speed is a little slower, not substantially, but a little bit slower, and the recoil is going to be more, but the power substantially. That's a difference maker. Now this is going to shoot the 7.62 rounds, and it can one-shot players in rank 2 headgear. So if they're wearing a level 2 helmet and you shoot them in the head, that's a one-shot kill. It's not an easy gun to shoot, and you definitely have to have a scope on it. Now the Win is powerful, but it's just not a very good sniper. I honestly would prefer to use the AKM or the M16 as my snipers over the Win 94. The Kar is a nice option, but it requires a lot of skill and it requires a lot of practice. I'm really starting to get over the Kar and starting to really enjoy it, but it took me a long time to get good with it because you gotta really hit somebody in the head to get the one-shot kill, and if you don't, you're pretty much in trouble because it takes a long time to do the bolt action and get it ready to fire again. So, and then of course you have the M24 and the AMW, which come from the airdrops. The M24 has huge range. Now this is second only to the AMW. This one also one-shots people in a level 2 helmet. And it's essentially like a more powerful version of the Kar, whereas the AMW is max power, max range, and it's just sexy. This is shoots a 300 Magnum bullet. This gun is where it's at. As far as sniper rifles go, this is a automatic headshot, one-shot kill gun, even if they're wearing rank 3 helmet. Yeah, this is a really hard gun to shoot at short distances, but this gun is beautiful. And of course, if you're getting this from the airdrop, there's going to be an 8x scope in there for it. Yeah, the AMW is far and away the best sniper in the game, but it's hard to find because you got to get in the airdrop, and sometimes there could be any of the other airdrop guns in there. But the Kar 98, again, it's worth mastering. It's worth getting really good with because once you get those one-shot headshot kills on the level 2 helmets and below, it's pretty nice. Next, we're moving to semi-automatic sniper rifles. And these are, to be honest with you guys, only one of these is really something I'm interested in. The SKS is my favorite sniper in the game, if I had to choose just one. The Kar 98 is something I'm getting better at, and I think the more I get better at the Kar 98, it might become my favorite. But the SKS, the semi-auto, it shoots 762 bullets. You guys see the range is pretty good, the power is pretty good, the recoil's decent, the firing speed is good because it's semi-auto and it can shoot really quickly. So you're not bound like the Kar 98 is to shoot somebody in the head or not kill them. The SKS you can just keep shooting with. The recoil is low enough to where you can just keep popping off shots, and you'll be able to hit somebody 2 or 3 times to knock them down. I do enjoy the SKS. It is, I definitely would take it over the AMW or the M16 as backup snipers. Those are my 2 main snipers that I like to go with, though, is the Kar 98 or the SKS. And if I can't find those, then I'll take an M16 as a backup or an AMW as a, or a, am I losing my AKM as a secondary backup. The VSS shoots 9mm bullets. The power is not good at all. It already has a 4x scope attached to it, so that's kind of nice. But man, it's just, I don't like it. It doesn't hit hard enough to make a difference for me. I'd much rather have, with a range factor of a 4x scope, the light damage and the light recoil. I'd rather just shoot. An assault rifle. And that's the truth. And the same can be said about the Midi 14, which is a 556 ammo. And it has a large magazine, of course, but it isn't very powerful at all. Again, I'd rather shoot an assault rifle at the distances and damage that this gun is going to do. And the MK14 is an airdrop single shot gun. Now this is more of a this is more of kind of like a shotgun style shot. I don't think oh no, this is a sniper rifle. You can shoot it. There's a heavy recoil in I was thinking of a different gun. There's a heavy recoil in the gun when you're shooting in auto mode, but single fire mode it has a lot of damage to fire mode. So this is a sniper where you'd want to play that in single fire mode. Now obviously if you get it, use it. It's still one of the best snipers in the game. It's an airdrop gun, of course it is. But yeah, the MK14 is definitely worth using. It's solid stats all around. And then we're moving on to some machine guns. Some machine guns are, I mean, to me, they're suboptimal, and I am going to want to not use them unless I can find a better gun like an assault rifle or a sniper. I personally don't find them to be a whole lot more useful at close range than an assault rifle. And in most scenarios, I'd rather have a shotgun. If I'm stuck to having one or the other at close range, I'd rather have a shotgun than the submachine guns. Now, as far as submachine guns go, you got the Uzi shooting 9mm. You got the UMP9 shooting 9mm. You got the Vector, which shoots the .45 ACP bullets, and then you have the Tommy gun. Now, out of all of these guns, my favorite by a long shot is the Tommy gun. This is my favorite of all the submachine guns, but the caveat is that it fits a muzzle, a magazine, and a foregrip, but it doesn't fit a scope. So you're using iron sights with this gun as opposed to being able to use a scope of any kind, which is definitely a drawback. But if you're only going to be using it at close quarters, it's a sexy gun to shoot. It deals the most damage of all SMGs. It holds 50 rounds with an extended magazine, which is pretty incredible. And it really shoots just beautifully at close quarters. I love the way it fires. The recoil is real natural. Really, 2 thumbs up for the Tommy gun as far as close quarters guns go. The next one on the list for me is going to be the Vector. It can be shot single, double, and full auto, which is pretty nice. The double shot's actually pretty cool. Fast, stable, and mobile. But you really want to get a extended magazine in this bad boy because it shoots quick enough to where you're going to be out of bullets real fast. You have to have extended magazine or it's a real problem. So keep that in mind. I know you see this one gets a sight. It gets a muzzle, a magazine, a foregrip, and a stock. So it can be fully equipped and be a really solid close quarters combat gun. Obviously, I've already said the submachine guns are less optimal, but if you got a fully equipped Vector with all the attachments, you could do worse at close quarters combat for sure. Like, for example, the UMP. I'm not a big UMP fan. It does the single, double, full auto also. It's very mobile, but so I'm reading up top left. It has the longest range of all the SMGs, but again, like I said, the performance is mediocre across the board. It's just kind of a very average gun. It's better than a pistol, but it's really bottom of the barrel. And then the worst of the worst for semi-autos is an Uzi. I'm not a big fan of the Uzi. It doesn't have the double shot option if you're looking for that. It shoots very fast, but it runs out of bullets quickly, and it's just not very accurate. The recoil's meh. Out of all the submachine guns, my least favorite. This is actually the same thing. It goes from bottom to top favorite. So that is your submachine guns, and then we're going into the shotguns. There's only a few options for these bad boys. We have the S686. We have the S1897, which is a classic shotgun, which is out of between these two options, my choice is going to be the S686. As you guys see, it has more range, same amount of power recoil. Neither is obviously, I mean, they're good if you're short range. These guys are a lot of times a one-shot kill. Now this is a double barrel shotgun. The S1897 is it's got to be reloaded manually. They're just shotguns. They're close quarters combat guns, and you need to be really accurate with them, because if you miss, reloading these takes a little while and it can be really deadly for you. Obviously, if you can get your hands on the SK12, this is a semi-automatic shotgun, and as you guys can see the comparison, you lose a tiny bit of power, but your firing speed increases so much that it doesn't matter. This is a solid shotgun to use, but you gotta be really good at controlling the recoil, because the faster you shoot, the more recoil there is, and it can get a little bit obscene, so you got to keep an eye on that. And then lastly, we're moving on to the heavy machine guns, the LMGs, the light machine guns, the LMGs. We got the M249, which is obtained through the airdrops, which fires 5.56 rounds. Magazine holds 100 rounds. It's pretty sick. And then the recoil is reduced when using the stand, which you'd have to put down. You'd be laying down for it, and you can put a sight on it. That's the only attachment you can put on it, is a sight. But the M249 obviously is, again, a gun that you get from the airdrops, and they are sick. The M249 will mow through people. It will literally destroy people, and it is, out of all the guns in the crates, it's probably my second or third favorite, behind one of the I don't know, the AUG is number 2, the M249 is number 3, and then the AMW is number 1. The reason why that order is because those 3 guns are the 3 that are significantly more powerful than the other ones in the drops, and then the other ones that you can get normally anyways. And then you get the DP28. Now the DP28 is that other gun. When I said that the M14 was my favorite, or my favorite gun, not the M14, in the M416 was my favorite short medium range gun. That's my go-to gun in this game. My second go-to gun, or one of my other favorites, is the DP28. It fires 7.62 rounds and does obviously only full auto. All you can get as far as attachments go is a sight up there. The reload speed is very slow, but it does hold a solid amount of bullets. It holds 47 bullets. But you guys can see the power is solid. The recoil's not too bad. I find it easily to control. My favorite scope on this is a 2 or 4 times scope. You can't shoot this gun at an 8 times distance. I mean, I can do it. I can kill people with it, but it's really difficult to do, and it's not very conducive to being successful. I'd rather shoot one of the other guns that we mentioned at that long of a range. But the DP at a short to medium range with a 2 or 4 times scope is beautiful. It's a really solid gun. I find the recoil to be very controllable. I find it to be very solid in the way it shoots. Now, you could potentially do 8 times scope distance with the stands up, but again, it is not exactly the ideal scenario for this gun. But I could really go either way sometimes on the M416 and the DP as far as which of those two is my favorite close to medium range combat weapons. I love them both. Obviously, you want to make sure you keep that DP28 reloaded as often as you can, so that you don't have to do it in the middle of a firefight of any kind. But guys, that is it for this one. We've gone over all of the weapons that are currently in PUBG Mobile. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be making some more basic, beginner guide videos talking about settings and scopes and attachments, and kind of give you guys the breakdown on all that kind of stuff, so you guys can see what those are all about. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, until next time.